Right then, think we're ready to get stuck in. Let me get set up on my little chair. Who's with me? Right, 45 people watching already on the old YouTube classic. Right, what's going on? Who we got checked in? Michael Walls, Pappy Holland, David Edwards, Stephen Armitage, Paul Longley, Lauren Carter, Steve Price, Debbie Price, Paul Rainey, Matt Richards, Mercedes Milbank, Kelly Lowther, Jack Pickering, Stephen Baker, Scott Sears. Welcome, guys. I haven't really got much of a script for tonight. You might have seen earlier I put something out on social media that I was going to start a podcast. And obviously, with us being in lockdown, I can't get anybody in the studio right now to do the podcast with me. So I thought, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get on the camera and I'm going to have a natter with you lot. I'm going to see what you lot are saying. And I put something out today asking for some questions off you guys. I've had some incredible questions based on everything from music, mental health, well-being, productivity, videography, everything you can imagine that people would want to know about me. I don't know why, but if you could sum me up in one, everybody's asked these questions and some really, really, really good questions. And I think if you've ever paid interest to anything I've done before, that you're going to get the answers that you want tonight. The idea of this podcast for me, it's been something I've been looming on for a long time. I've been a part of a lot of other people's podcasts over the last year, and I guess that was my experiment, really. I've watched a lot of podcasts. I've listened, when I go bike riding and running, I listen to podcasts. And I just kind of thought, right, I want to start my own, but what do I want to do? And I think lockdowns give me, a bit of headspace to actually think of the way I want it to come across. Obviously, it's going to be quite musical-led, but I don't want it to just be about music. I don't want it to just be based upon, me interviewing DJs. I want to appeal to a wider spectrum of people. I'm looking to get ex-footballers on here. I'm looking to get all sorts. I'm looking to get current footballers on here. My 3 targets, and I think I can get them all, is, I'm going to say it, Dean Windass, definitely can get Dino. Ian Ashby, pretty sure I can get that in the bag. And I'm going to try and get Jared Bowen on the podcast. I don't know if he's listening now. He's usually checked into this. Jared, if you're watching, I'm going to try and get you on the podcast if you're allowed to do it. Other people, boxers, hopefully get Tommy Coyle on, Sonny Taylor, other people. And more than anything, I want to have a bit of fun, have a bit of banter, and just get in a discussion. You know what I mean? Obviously, right now the questions are quite based around lockdown, so I want to see what you lot are thinking about lockdown, how you lot are feeling. And some people have asked for some advice on, how I'm coping with the lockdown mentally and keeping myself going, how I'm dealing with everything. And I've got some good coping mechanisms, I think, what are working for me that I can give to you. Anybody from Hull will see that I've got my Beverly Westwood t-shirt on, which is Friends on Every Street, which is incredible brand from Hull. Love what them guys are doing. Right, let me have a quick look at the comments. Someone's just put get Jansen on. Jansen's my first target, that goes without saying. I'm going to try and get Jansen on the podcast. He's hard to get in touch with though nowadays. Paul Longley's in the building, Andy's Man Club, big up Paul Longley. Lewis Cox, Lamore White, Rob Langdon, amazing. Guys, if you are listening to me waffle on, will you do me a massive favour and just hit the share button? It really does help to get more people engaged in what I'm doing. It's literally in the bottom corner of your screen. Stephen Baker just put get the music pumping. Well, obviously he hadn't listened very well because it's not about the music on this podcast. It's all about the conversation. So I'm going to answer the first question, but first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give a big shout out to Clooney, aka David Bissett, who's listening right now. Big up Clooney in the building. Legend. And Eddie Richards, James Ash, Luke Scott. A lot of people watching right now. Numbers are going up. So the questions, let's get straight into things. I'm sat here on my Jax Jones, so I don't want to bore you for too long. I want to give you the answers that you want. The first question is a great question. It comes from Lewis Roper, and it is, how do you find being on lockdown, and what advice would you give to other people that may be struggling or alone, etc.? That is a great question, and this is the reason why I wanted to answer this one first. It's a weird thing. It's a really weird thing. I think the first week of lockdown, probably like most people, I hadn't adapted to it very well. I don't think I was ready for it. I don't think anyone was ready for it. I think I kind of played it down a lot when it first happened. Like, oh yeah, it's not going to really, get to us. We're not going to go into lockdown. It's not going to affect us. And then boom, before you know it, you're in your house and you can't move, and everything that we thought mattered, all the materialistic things in life, you know, what car we're driving, where we're trying to get to, who we're knocking about with, what we're posting on Instagram, what we're up to, all of a sudden all of that just disappeared, and we was in our house with our family, you know, our partners, and it was back to the bare minimum of what we actually needed. And to be honest, it's a crazy thing to say, but I'm enjoying it. I am enjoying it, but please don't take that lightly. You know, God forbid anyone that's, you know, going through anything, or anyone that's lost anyone, and you know, anyone that's, you know, ill. I completely don't mean it in that sense. I mean in a personal sense, in my own well-being. I'm enjoying the freedom to not have to be anywhere and just doing my own thing. And as people can probably see, I'm doing all this kind of stuff, and it's stuff I've wanted to do for so long, and it's brought out projects that I wouldn't have been able to do. And in terms of my advice for people that might be struggling or might be alone, I think, you know, I've always thought social media can be a little bit dangerous from time to time, in terms of, you know, comparing yourselves to other people, in terms of, you know, judging other people. And, you know, we're seeing other people laid on beaches, flying privately, we're watching other people driving nice cars, and a lot of it is, you know, just highlight reels. People only really put on social media the things that are going well in their life, the things that they are happy about. No one posts the times when you're crying, you're ill, you're upset, you're skint, all these things. And I think this has just brought the world back down to reset. So that's a good positive that's come out of the lockdown. I feel like we're in a bit of a reset mode, and I hope it stays that way, but none of us really know. In terms of anyone that's, you know, on their own and struggling, I think people don't realise how much help and support is out there. You know, this is where social media becomes good. You know, I've got maybe 150, 200 people listening to me right now. That's making me feel not alone. I'm sure there's someone out there that can benefit from listening to me, because there might be, some of you guys might be sat at home with nobody. You know what I'm saying? So I think that it's just reaching out. You just got to reach out. In terms of anybody that's struggling, not just during lockdown, the toughest thing you will ever do is reaching out for help. You know, this is going into, you know, mental health and well-being a little bit, but I think the hardest bit to do is reach out, maybe admitting that you need a bit of help, you need an arm around your shoulder, you need a bit of support, and that almost just lifts the weight off your shoulders by doing that. I think, you know, I used to be a bit of a closed book, and ever since things have happened in my life, like losing friends to suicide and nearly losing another friend to suicide, I just thought, what have I got to hide, to lose, and what have I got to be worried about? And I feel like a new person from that. So anyone that's struggling, honestly, if there's someone in your phone but you can ask a question or ring, give them a shout and give them a ring. Honestly, great question that, mate. Charlotte Blake has asked me, how do you keep so positive all the time? I think this kind of leads into this question from what Lewis has said. I think for me, it's everyone's got coping mechanisms. I think for me, it's, you know, I love exercise, I love my music, I love having a good routine, and just keeping it organic, keeping it real, kind of thing. I don't really I don't think I pretend to be anyone I'm not. You know, I'm just a lad off West Hull that likes making music and DJing and being creative and having a bit of a laugh. And I think by being myself, I enjoy doing what I'm doing. And about being positive, I think it's a case of, you know, I do what I enjoy, and I'm lucky to do that. And yeah, it does provide me an income and a good income, but this lockdown's made me realise how many things I was maybe doing that I didn't really enjoy just for an income. So that's definitely improved things for me. I think when things go back, I'll definitely be saying no to a lot more, and not just taking things on for the money. But in terms of staying positive, I've got a lot of that is down to Andy's Man Club. Andy's Man Club's a brotherhood, it's a hub, it's a place where I could recommend to any man. And I think as well, what a lot of people think is you've got to be struggling to go there, and that's not the case at all. I went to Andy's Man Club because I decided that I wanted to learn a bit more about mental health and understand it. It was not necessarily my own mental health. I think we all have a mental health. Everybody's got a mental health. Some's got a good mental health, some got a bad mental health. But I think I wanted to understand, you know, why other people might be feeling certain ways, you know, why other people might be going through things, and just get an understanding. I went down there just inquisitive. I've ended up becoming part of the team. I guess some could say an integral part of the team in Hull, and just spreading the message, banging the drum, and letting people know what Andy's Man Club's all about. And that's, I guess, what keeps me going. It's knowing I can help other people, because I've seen guys come into that room, into that environment, you know, broken, head down, heart broken, and walking out like a new man, and that to me is enough, and that's worth what I'm doing. And if I can just get one person to come to Andy's Man Club and it saves a life, or it saves a marriage or a family, you know, if it saves someone from losing the career, the jobs, it's 100% worth it. So if anyone's listening and they don't really know about it, or they think that, you know, there's a stigma behind joining stuff like Andy's Man Club, I'd definitely recommend doing it, trying it. And I'd also, you know, I'm open for people messaging me and asking me questions about Andy's Man Club. Absolutely no problem at all. Jack Foster has asked, what helps you stay focused and productive? I don't know. I think it's I get excited by what could happen. I think if you'd have asked me 5 years ago if I'd have done some of the things I've done, you know, warmed up for Roger Sanchez DJ'd in Dubai, Tomorrowland, the Alps, travelled majority of the world, America, built a good little thing going for myself, I'd have said impossible, because I wouldn't have believed in myself. So knowing that I've done that, I think that's what keeps me going for the future, because you just don't know what's coming. I think as well, like, what people won't see is there is weeks where I go unproductive and maybe full of anxiety and can't get anything done. I'm not in a good headspace. It is like that. I think what people need to realise is not every day is going to be a good day. Not every day is going to be. You're not going to wake up full of energy. So, and that's just the case of me. I just think people only see on social media. People only see the good side of it. You know, my family, my friends, and my missus will tell you it's not all butterflies and rainbows in my life, but I think if you looked at my social media, it probably looks like it is. I'm like everyone else. I wake up some days and I don't feel very good, but I just don't post anything online. So I think what helps me stay focused and being productive is the fact that I have got such a good network around me of friends, family. My missus is incredible, and she just understands everything, I think, for me, of what's going on in my little head. I think she's just actually started watching, hasn't she? I keep looking at my screen. I shouldn't do that, but I think my missus has just checked in just as I was bigging her up. Glad she's only just started listening, because she wouldn't have heard me slagging her off 5 minutes ago. No, I'm only messing. But yeah, in terms of focused and productive, I think I'm just enthusiastic about what could happen. I've got a bit. I believe in the bigger vision, and I think things are going to happen, not just for me, for everyone, for the world. So I do believe in good things happening. So that's what helps me. Joshua Prindeville has asked me, how do I see things changing for DJs and gigs after all of this? Now, this is a mint question and a very hard question to answer, but I've been thinking about this one. I have got a good answer to it. I think the first thing is, people are getting really excited about this whole lockdown, coming out of lockdown in May the 17th, I think it is, and saying, oh yeah, bank holiday. I just think if people actually think that the bars are going to be back open in 3 weeks, then no, it's just not going to happen. That's just not. If that happens, I'll be so shocked. I don't know if anyone listening. What do you think? Do you think the bars are going to open again in 3 weeks, like some people seem to think? I can't see it personally. Somebody put on Facebook yesterday, lockdown's over in 3 weeks. Get me in the pub, and I thought, A, it's not going to happen, and B, that is the worst thing you could potentially do right now. So no, I can't see things changing quick, and I think if anything, the bars and the nightlife and the big arenas like the your football grounds, your concerts and everything are going to be last. I think if anything, it's going to be like education and the necessities in life, which are going to reopen anytime soon. I can't see bars and stuff opening anytime soon. I'm looking at the comments now. People are saying September. Someone said August. Someone's saying end of the year. This is what I mean. We just don't know. Someone's saying I think it'll be shut all summer. Someone's just put nope. Nope. Not today. Someone else has put not a chance for 3 weeks. Someone else has put nah, not at all. Someone else has put September. It looks like it could be September. And to be honest, I don't know if anyone else thinks this, but in September it seems to be still pretty warm. So I feel like we're just going to get a more condensed end of summer period where everyone's out on the lash, on the marinas, rooftop parties and all that. I think it's just going to be more condensed, but I think because everyone's going to appreciate it a little bit more, everyone's going to make that bit of extra effort. So I might have to put on a rooftop party when this is all over. I've been thinking about it. But I can see it changing, and this is crazy because obviously I'm sat here now live streaming from my studio. Obviously, I do all my mixes here, and I've been speaking to a lot of DJs over the last week, and I know DJs that are getting paid by clubs to live stream on their Facebook pages, like on a weekend, to obviously keep the club's engagement and keep the club's name at the forefront of your mind. So say for example, if I went live on say Attic Hull or Piper Hull's page on Friday, granted that might not actually be making them money, but that's going to keep you locked into them, if that makes sense. So like I'm live on Piper and you're going to go, I can't wait to get back in Piper and hear that in Piper. So it's a really good obviously engagement tool, but what people are what that means is it's making people realise how many people are willing to listen to music at home and engage in it. So it's quite scary to think, are they actually going to start going back to the clubs and stuff, obviously, when it all goes back to normal? It's a weird thing, I don't know. Like, this lockdown, I'm sure anyone listening right now will agree, even though, obviously, I'm in the music industry, so I probably see it more than anyone. I'm sure you've all seen DJs going live on Facebook and how good quality they're doing it at. I mean, if you're watching this live stream now, I've got a microphone, I've got a camera, and I've got some lighting, and it's probably sounds like it probably sounds like, you know, really good quality. So it just goes to show how much we can do. I'm just reading the comments, they're all crazy. It just shows how much you can actually do from home. So I'm just worried that people might actually, you know, become a bit more digital, because obviously the world is getting quite digital crazy as it is with social media. So I'm a bit worried that this the club shutting now will make people realise, hang on a minute, I can get a bottle of wine in at home and I can get absolutely off my barnet, listen to Ben, listen to Lewis, listen to Steve, listen to blah blah blah, and it'll cost me a fiver, and my taxi ride up the stairs will take me 30 seconds. So it's kind of worrying in that sense. And obviously the economy is going to flop, so are people going to have money to go out? Because I don't know about anyone else, but I was noticing before we went into lockdown, this is going to sound like so stupid, but I never buy drinks in bars, not because I think I'm VIP or big time. I just don't drink a lot. I never really drink. So when I do drink, I'm like, bloody hell, £9 for a gin. And I just thought the prices of drinks have got that extortionate before lockdown. Unless the bars bring these prices of drinks right down, how are we all going to be able to afford to go out anyway? Because I don't know about anyone else, but I'm not like exactly making a lot of money at the minute. You know, I'm getting by, but I'm not making the money I was making. So how's the economy just going to go back to normal? So if you're listening, be honest, are you going to be able to afford to go out when this is all over? Because I personally don't go out a lot because I work in nightclubs and I drink Red Bull. I don't drink alcohol a lot, so I'm probably not going to be able to afford to go out anyway, and I'm probably not going to go out. But are you going out? Obviously I know people are going to be itching to go out technically. I know people are going to be like, oh, I can't wait to get out, but are you actually going to be able to afford to maintain nights out? Or is it just going to be, right, the first weekend when we come out of lockdown, I'm going to go out? I can already see people saying, I think you're right. People talking about the prices of entry to bars and clubs, people saying I hate wasting money on alcohol. So yeah, I don't know what's going to happen when this goes back to normal. Nathan B, he asked the same thing, what do you think will happen to the music industry when this is all over? Like I say, I think live streaming is going to just get bigger and bigger. If anything, people are just going to, you know, be locked in from home, and who knows what's going to happen with the clubs. It's going to be interesting to see how many clubs can survive this. Yeah, someone's just put key workers are going to be the only ones with money, which is true, and they deserve every single penny they get. But if anything, we're all going to offer key workers free things. We're going to support the key workers for the hard work they've done, so technically they might not have to spend as much money. Someone has just put, I'll be honest, Ben, I'm going to do a month's wages in one weekend and live off beans on toast. That's what I do anyway, but I don't do it on I don't do it on drink. I do it on stupid clothes and stuff. Someone else has just put, I take my own flasks into bars on nights out. Yeah, fair one. That's a little dodgy trick. I've never done that, to be honest. Someone else has put, lockdown's not really made much of a difference. We don't really go out that much, and we prefer a few drinks in streaming music. And this is the thing, because of things like Sonos and Beats, you know, wireless speakers and all, Alexa and that, I don't actually think some people are that bothered, because it sounds bad to say from a DJ, but, you know, nightclubs are they're tough places to be in sometimes. If I'm not DJing in a nightclub, I don't like being out. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to put it out there and say if I'm not DJing, I don't enjoy it that much. And I think that's sometimes the clientele more than anything. But I think some people would rather stay at home. Someone else has put, I definitely think some small venues won't open, they won't be able to support it, and it's pretty sad. And then somebody's just put, does that say monthly billing target behind you? Yeah, it does. It says monthly billing target, and it says £10,000. Probably never going to get that, but we'll try. Me and my friend run a business, a marketing and media business, as well as DJing. Obviously, at the minute, we're not actively working because the clients that we had are all obviously not they're not working. All our clients aren't working, so none of them are bringing money in. But we're aiming to get to £10,000 a month, and if we do, I'll be happy. Right, what else are people saying? Nighttime industry needs a boost once this is over to support and get going again. That's so true, mate. But I just don't know if people are going to support it because we're all skint. Online platform is going to go through the roof. I think people are going to be a bit off with the social distancing. It's not going to be like normal. Completely agree with you, Shane. I think as well, this is another thing, is even if bars do open, 18 to 21 year olds might just fly back out and start going out, but I think older people might be a bit more hesitant to just get straight out. I don't know, honestly. I really don't know what's going to happen with it all, but it is quite worrying. Luckily, I don't just pigeon myself into music, so I've got other things going. And like I've just said then, I run a marketing company with my friend Alex. This is our studio, and obviously it's where I do all my music stuff as well. And the biggest thing what I'm going to be able to offer after this lockdown is my marketing services to people that are running businesses that need that boost. We do targeted advert campaigns online, we do competitions, we do all sorts of, artwork, we do videography, photography, everything basically a brand could need. So obviously I'm really going to apply that when this comes out of lockdown. If anything, I'm going to jump on that more than I'm going to jump back into clubs, because I'm enjoying being creative and I'm enjoying being me and being here probably more than I am going out and DJing at the minute. And I'm enjoying the live streams, I'm not going to lie. I am enjoying DJing from here to you lot. So yeah, it is worrying times. My dad's just put, me and your mum don't go out much anywhere. And anybody that knows my mum and dad know that they are more sociable than me and my sister. They're always out. But yeah, I'm not going to jump too far into that topic because I've got a lot of other questions to get through. It seems like everyone's saying the same thing. It's going to be a struggle, and if any bar owners or club owners are listening right now, I really do feel for you. I hope you stashed the money over Christmas, because I know some people that didn't. So I hope you made your money, and I hope you stashed it before Christmas, and I hope that it works out for you. And if I can help anyone, I'm more than willing to. But yeah, all good. Taylor Shipley, what's going on, Taylor? I hope you're listening. I hope you're all right. She's asked a really, really good question, and she's put, what is the challenge you think the next generation of DJs are going to face? This is a good question, and it's something I had to have a little think about before I went live. It's difficult because I think if you asked a DJ 10 years ago, would their gigs depend on social media as much as they do now, they'd have probably laughed at you, because I think 10 years ago there was things like MySpace and Bieber and all that kind of stuff, but it wasn't as prominent as it is now. I think things now, it's like you're kind of strange if you don't have social media in a sense. Not like you are. I don't think anybody is, but I think you're almost frowned upon for not having social media now. And certainly as a DJ or an entertainer or a creative or anyone that's a public figure as such, or someone that's putting themselves out there, I think if you don't have social media now, people are going to turn around and be like, what? So that's one thing that's happened in the last 10 years, what I guess no one saw coming. And then obviously now in this era, I'm living and working in an era where social media is kind of everything. So I can only see it getting more and more intense with social media, really, for DJs. Not just for DJs, though. I think PTs, I think, PTs, and I don't know what else, like all sorts of industries are just really going to depend on like digital, stuff like this, like live streams and social media more. And I think it's the bubble's going to have to burst at one point with this social media thing. Whether it's bursting now because of this, because obviously all these influencers and all these weirdos are not actually able to travel the world and pretend that they're making millions of pounds to us anymore. No dig at anyone there, but whether this is going to change things, this lockdown, we don't know. But I think we 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 as a creative, as a DJ, I think things are going to get more intense and more intense as it goes along, and I do think that things are going to change in the future. And if anything, I think it's going to be I think it's going to be more based upon like what's the word? I've seen this. This is something that's been happening for a while, but I think gigs are going to depend on who you are, what you are, and what you can bring to the club. Because you got to think about it. Obviously, if we're jumping into an even bigger like recession and crashing the economy for nightclubs, they're not going to book a DJ unless they're bringing something to the club. So like, if you're a local DJ that you can mix and you're great, but you ain't got nobody on social media and you're not going to bring X amount of people into the venue, then they're not going to book you. And it's sad. It really is sad. And I think, admittedly, I'm in a generation which do depend on social media. I think a lot of people depend on social media, but then some people lean on social media, and I think that's the difference. And I think I probably lean on it because I think what I am in person and who I am in person is probably more complete than what I am on social media, because I actually probably, anyone that knows me knows what I'm like, and I probably hold back on social media in fear of being either categorized, judged, or deemed absolutely crazy. So I don't think I depend on social media, but I do think I lean on it, obviously doing all this kind of stuff. I do think I lean on social media. I do think it's benefited me getting gigs and getting places, but I think my personality is what's ultimately opened doors. And I do think for most people out there, being a good person, being a good personality will open more doors and get you in places more than you probably skills will. I think just being a genuine person will open more doors and more opportunities. So yeah, great question. Stan from Bud Sugar has asked, how do you maintain your levels of productivity? You always seem to be on the ball constantly. Is there anything that is a significant help? I guess I'm just wild. I don't know. I think I've just got a burning desire inside to be somewhere and get somewhere. And I couldn't tell you where it is, and I couldn't tell you what it is. But I just think there's something inside of me that ain't happy with. It's not that I'm not happy with where I am. I think it's just I always want to be somewhere bigger, and I won't stop till I get there. And it's quite scary. It's quite a scary thought, that, because I've always said to people about having gratitude and appreciating where you are and what you've got in life. So I don't want to get to a point where it's like, look at where I've been and not actually have appreciated, where I've been and what I've done. So I don't just want to keep pushing for a goal and not actually appreciate how far I've already come. So I think it's kind of a mix of appreciating who I am, what I am, where I've come from, and how lucky I am to have the people around me that I am, how lucky I am to have travelled and done what I've done in such a short space of time. That's one thing that keeps me going, because I've had a bit of a taste for the fun, the good life in Dubai and all that stuff. I've had a bit of a taste for that kind of stuff, and that's got me hungry for more. And also it's inspiration of other people. I look at people like Camel Fat. They're just a couple of Scouse lads that have worked their arse off, and now they're the biggest selling house artists. You know what I mean? I look at people like James Hype, Joel Corey. I've known both of them for years. Not necessarily personally. I didn't know Joel Corey personally until he got into music. I didn't know him when he was doing MTV stuff and all the TV stuff. I've known James Hype since he was a resident DJ, like most of us have been. And I just think, I'm just watching people around me that I class as friends and peers doing what I want to do, and I think it's not actually as unachievable as you might think it is. And it's not. It's just, you've just got to dedicate yourself to your craft. It's weird for me because my craft is kind of a few things. Like, obviously I do my videography, I do my DJing, I do my mental health support, I do bloody full-time boyfriend. I've got everything, and I really appreciate having all that, and I don't take it for granted, and I just keep pushing for the next level and striving for more. And I think, to be honest as well, this is the thing about social media is, it can be a shit place to be, but when you're actually grafting your ass off to do something and people genuinely appreciate it, do you know what I mean? Like, some people don't, but I think when people can see genuity and people can see how passionate you are about what you're doing, I think that's what keeps me going, is the support I get off some people. Like, I got a message about 10 minutes ago. Do you know what I'm going to show you? I'm going to read it, and I'm just going to explain why I feel so passionately about what I do and why this kind of keeps me going. So I'm not going to name the guy because I don't want to make him feel any type of way, but he just messaged me and he put, "Mate, I just wanted to send you a message as sharing is caring. I wanted to say a massive well done for everything you're doing. I've been a massive fan of yours since I started DJing about 4 years ago. All the remixes you used to throw out and that, I was on the mailing list right from the start. I've been doing YouTube for 3 months. I'm doing gigs, podcasts, etc. And I've noticed that you're growing in a similar way. Your videos have really come in useful for me, especially the one on how to create mashups. The last thing about being live on doing a live stream has become really, really useful. Thanks for that, mate. You're absolutely smashing it, bro. Well done. I hope you get this." And then he sent me another message saying, "I hope you get this, mate, because people need to hear the praise they deserve." And I just thought when I got that, it's mad, innit? Because I message like what I deem as, role models to me all the time. Like I message Mark Knight, I message Defected, I message MK, I message all these people and never get a reply. And it is demoralising because I think, why can't you just read my message? You knobhead. No, but you know what I mean? I just think, come on, like, I don't care what anyone says. Everyone checks their inbox, don't they? Everyone looks at what's going on. And I just think for me, I can't actually believe that people send me messages like that because I'm just having a laugh, do you know what I mean? I'm just doing what I'm doing, but it is proper nice, and I think I'll never not reply to anyone. Like I'll put things out there and I get hundreds of replies and I spend all night replying, and my missus goes mad at me because obviously I sit on my phone sometimes for hours and I can't explain it. It's just something I'm passionate about as well, is replying to people. So yeah, that's what keeps me going. Anyway, that's gone on for ages. Chandler Udy has asked me, "Is there anything you know now that you wish you would have known back when you started your career?" Yeah, there is something. I wish I didn't put stupid videos on YouTube before I started DJing. Oh God, does anyone remember that video that me and Harry Palmer did of Candy? You remember Robbie Williams' Candy? We did a video. It's not on anymore, so I don't even care if you're looking for it. But we did a video of Robbie Williams' Candy, and we dressed up like absolute idiots, and we did this mad video, and it kind of bit me in the arse a little bit because you put Ben Rainey into YouTube and you're looking for my music, and the first thing you saw was a video of me and my mate bollock naked dancing, going, "Hey ho, here she goes, either a little too high or a little too low." Do you remember the Candy song? Yeah. So obviously that shafted me a little bit. I think having a clean blueprint is definitely a good idea if you want to go far, and don't burn any bridges with anyone. Don't be that guy where people are cautious of working with you and approaching you, because I think it's the same as any industry in any game. Even though you might not realise it, it's a small world, and if you are a bit of a dickhead, it'll soon get around. People are already remembering the Candy video. I tell you what, if enough people want it, I'll bring it back for one hour, and then it's going back down, because I've still got the video. But yeah, I just think don't be that guy that everyone's cautious of. Everyone knows, don't they? In every industry, there's always that guy that has got mixed reviews. You don't know if some people think he's a bit of a dick, and I just think be yourself. And yeah, someone's just put in the comments, personal brand is huge, and then someone's just put, "I love this guy, so humble." Yeah, I think that's it though. That is it. Like, don't let anything get above you. And I think what it comes down to is it's anyone in any industry needs to remember, especially, this is what I always say to people like DJs, we are literally flicking buttons. We're human jukeboxes, and yeah, some people are up there with it, some people are down there, some people are getting paid X amount, some people are getting paid that, but realistically it's a job. It's like footballers and that. Like, I know obviously a lot of rugby lads, and one of my best mates, Jansen, is an ex-pro rugby player. A few of my other mates are like pro footballers, and one thing I realise is, about people, no matter what they are, we're only human. People are only human, and I think some people sometimes forget that, and I've been guilty of that. When you walk in a room and you see, like, I've walked in a room and I've met like MK, one of my favourite DJs. I've met like big DJs and producers, and I've got starstruck, and I have to remind myself they're just normal people. Do you know what I mean? They go home like everyone else to the families, and you know what I mean. Everyone's the same, and that's one thing you've got to remember about life is don't take yourself too seriously. Work on your personal brand. Be a good person. Be a good guy more than anything. But just be yourself. If being yourself's being a bad person, then you're just gonna have to wear the capes on. That's just how it goes. What's everyone? Yeah, someone's just put as well. Tony Roberts, one of my best mates, he's just put, not everyone gets to do what they love for a living. We're lucky, mate. And do you know what? That goes back to the point of people asking me, why am I so motivated and why am I so, positive? Because I do something what some other people, like someone said this to me, right? I am literally living somebody else's. I'm living my own dream. I'm living my dream by making music and traveling around the world and the UK and getting paid to do it. But you're living other people's dreams, you know what I mean? Like, there's kids out there, like, literally would die to be in this position. And don't get me wrong, I'd love to be in other people's positions. But if someone's willing to be in your position, appreciate where you're at, do you know what I mean? Like, appreciate how lucky you are to have a platform to do what you want to do and be who you want to be. And I wake up feeling lucky most days. Lewis Roper's just put, remember the Babble on Sundays and the Riff Mondays. I'm going to say it as it is. I'm going to be honest on this podcast. I used to DJ and my mum and dad are listening, and they will tell you, I used to do like night after night after night for £30, mate, for £30 a night, right? And that £30 would be taxes, it would be, it'd be everything. It'd be, I'd be running at a loss. I would not make a penny. I would be losing money by DJing. That is how much I wanted to DJ. I got paid 30 quid, and I was playing to like 2 people, do you know what I'm saying? It's what people don't realise is it doesn't come overnight, and I'm still not where I want to be, and I'm not where I think I can get, but I'm very lucky to have done what I've done and been where I've been. And I think that's what's important, is knowing, remembering your roots, but also knowing how lucky you are to be where you are. And someone's just put in the comments, you're living my dream, mate. Literally, Callum Morgan, this is my dream, mate, as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, this can be your reality as well. If this is your dream, then you can make it your reality. And if I can help you, mate, message me and I will give you any advice I can give you. It's just mad, honestly. Someone else is saying the same thing. Lily Healy, that's me right now. It's all of us. This is what people don't realise, is you don't just start and earn money. Like, it don't work like that, you know what I mean? Like, you've just said the right. Lily Healy's just put, I'm exactly that, basically where I was. I'm pushing on and hoping I get somewhere. That's all you've got to do, Lily, honestly. That's exactly what I've done and what I'm doing. And this is what people don't realise, is like, I have days where I think, am I doing the right thing? Should I give up? Should I stop doing this now? But the minute you stop is the minute someone else overtakes you. Has anyone ever seen that photo where there's 2 guys digging the same hole, and the guy turns round and he was that far away from being where he wanted to be, but the other guy's chiseling away, and the other guy's going to get there. And this is the thing, you've got to know that the minute you give up, the dream's over. Do you know what I mean? You've just got to keep going, honestly. It is a tough game as well. It's not just easy, and I think it's the same for anybody in any industry. You'll understand and you'll agree with me in saying, like, it doesn't happen overnight. It's not an uphill journey. It's a peak and troughs, and some of the sacrifices I've made, and that's one thing what I will say, and I'll be honest about, and I'll admit, is like, some of the sacrifices I've made. And any of my friends listening now, watching this, ask me when did we last go on a night out and socialise? We didn't, because I haven't done that for years, and I've sacrificed that, like, them memories and them things. And granted, I've been given probably memories that not other people could wish for by doing that, by being true to my craft. Granted, I've been travelled and stuff, but there's been so many sacrifices. Family parties I've let people down for. Commitments I've given up. Relationships. Family time. Everything. Anyone who knows me and knows what I've had to go through to get where I am, and that's not a brag. That's just an honest thing to say. And I think there's a lot of, I can tell that there's a lot of up and coming young DJs listening to this right now, and there's a lot that's going to watch it back on YouTube, because this is going on straight onto YouTube, and everyone can see this. And obviously, I'm still on my journey, and I'm not even probably remotely near anywhere I was going to get. I can see all these DJs tuning in, and they'll all agree with me. There's DJs locked in now that are up here, and there's DJs down there, on the start of the journey, and you'll all I will admit and know that it's not an easy straight road. There's politics, there's complications, there's heartbreak, there's this. Tony Roberts has just put, it's the most lonely job in the world, but the most rewarding. That is the ultimate thing I can say about DJing. You know, some nights I've been stood in the corner of a club with 2,000 people in front of me having the time of their life. I've got them in the palm of my hands, they're loving it, and I've felt like the loneliest kid in the world. You know what I mean? Like, it's not what people think sometimes. And I think for me, what I've actually realised in the last year is do what you love, do the gigs you love, and be around the people you want to be around. Don't just do the gigs that look good on social media and stuff. And that's why I'm enjoying it so much at the minute. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, honestly, this is mad because I'm talking to myself, but because of how many people are commenting and watching, I feel like I'm talking to a lot of people, and I think a lot of people are enjoying it. So I don't want to keep reminding people, but if you can do me a massive favour and just share this video, it would be much appreciated. Michael Ledger's in the building. What's going on, Mike? Hope you're alright, pal. Jay Bell's just put, that night you let me MC in Piper, I've completed life. Troy, what's going on, Troy? Scott Sears has just put, Taylor is going to be one to look out for. You've done so well with helping her, bro. Yeah, mate, Taylor's definitely, I could talk about her all day, but we just seem to talk about that all the time. She's just she's something else, mate, honestly. She's an incredible talent. And I think what people don't understand, I think, who follow me, is how naturally gifted that girl is and how much of an incredible family she's got around her. I think some people seem to think that I just nurtured her into like a DJ, and it's not the case. She was DJing herself, she was doing her own thing, and I guess I've just put my arm around her shoulder and give her a bit of guidance. But she's helping me more than I'm helping her. I'm telling you now, she's an incredible talent. Yeah, it's mad. And someone else has just put, going back to the DJing thing, it's very easy to see how it looks on the outside without seeing what you go through, the long nights and the late drives. And do you know what? That's the thing where I think a lot of DJs' mental health struggle, because I've been there, where I've been sat in my car 4 a.m, you know, real upset and just a bit down, and who do you ring and who do you call? I think it's a bit mad, innit? Like, I've recently found that we ring each other now. Like, I'll ring like Anthony Miles, Tony Roberts. There's loads of people I ring. That's definitely a good tip for DJs. If you're feeling lonely, ring each other. That's what gets me going. Right, I've got about 50 more questions, so I'm going to have to get this going a little bit. Sorry, guys, if I'm babbling on a little bit, but I am enjoying it. Andy, off YouTube. No, Andy's a guy that reached out to me a while back about YouTube marketing. Obviously, he's helping me grow my YouTube brand. And he never even told me his second name, so I've just wrote him down as Andy YouTube, but I asked him today. He's giving me it! So I've got him saved in my phone, I don't know if you can see that, as Andy YouTube, because his username on YouTube is not his full name. I just knew he was called Andy, so I put him in as Andy YouTube, and then he's asked me a real good question. So I just messaged him saying, mate, is your second name actually YouTube, because you never told me it? And he put, that's my actual name. It was a bit weird in school, but it worked out okay. But no, his second name's Brownlee. So Andy Brownlee, big ups Andy Brownlee. If anyone wants putting in touch with Andy, he's a really good guy for marketing and social media. We haven't worked together yet, but we're going to. He put, I'd like to know how important you think it is for DJs to be producing nowadays if they want to be big. It seems like there might be a ceiling for a DJ that doesn't produce. But obviously not everyone has that talent. So is there anything else you think they could do? Right, that is an amazing question, and I'm going to answer that. And I'm just reading in the comments. A lot of people are asking about decks they should start with. There's a lad on this chat that's just put, I was on the booze cruise you DJ'd at in Salou. What a good decks to use. I've got that as a question on here. Somebody's asked me about what decks they think they should get first. So anybody that's looking into starting DJing at some point, hold tight, the answers come in, and I'm going to answer that very truthfully and very honestly. But yeah, in relations to, do I think DJs should be producing to grow? I'm going to be very honest, and it's weird because I listened to a podcast today about Sam Devine, and anybody that knows who Sam Devine is, she's a DJ on Defected, and she has she's more known for DJing, but she has got music out there, but she openly admits that she uses ghost producers, because she admitted that she had to start producing to keep on the level of DJing she wanted to be. And I definitely think there isn't many DJs I could name off the top of my head that are on a good platform without producing. The only guys I can think of is DJ EZ, obviously, and, you know, what's his name, Jaguar Skills. But even Jaguar Skills, you know, has he died off a bit? I don't know. I don't want to, you know, I think the guy's an amazing DJ, but Do you see him DJing as much? Not really. And to be fair, in the last year or so, I'm pretty sure he did start bringing out some production. So yeah, I definitely think that production's a huge part of DJing. If there's anyone out there listening, and this is something that Sam Devine said on the podcast, is if you've got 10,000 hours, rather than spending them 10,000 hours in your bedroom against the wall trying to learn a good mix and DJing, spend them, learning how to produce music, how to make music and hone your craft, because production will definitely take you further. I mean, obviously I started DJing locally in bars, and I honestly don't think it was until I started producing that I started getting out of Hull and into bigger cities and bigger countries and doing bigger things and connecting on a bigger platform. And I don't think people would, in the industry, I don't think people would know who I was if it wasn't for production. I'm not saying that everyone knows who I am at all. I'm just saying, if you're a DJ, there's a lot of DJs out there who, unless I'm in your playlist of the tracks you're playing every week, why would you know who I am unless we've played together? And how are we going to play together if you're not aware of me? So I definitely think that you need to be producing, and there's a lot more money in production, as Tony said. I think the thing is with production, the money's harder to find, the money's harder to get to. Like, I don't see a lot of money from my own tracks yet until I start hitting the big streams and the big labels, but I know that in the long term that's where the money's at, and this is what I keep saying to my dad. So if you're listening, Dad, I am going to bring you that pension in one day. And someone's just put, I don't think I've ever seen a DJ not play a remix of yours. And that's the thing, mate. That is my aim. It's to have my music in every guy's playlist. I've done commercial tunes, I've done techie tunes, I've done disco tunes, I've done deep house, I've done pianos, I've done vocal, because I want my music to be accessible. There's going to be tracks that don't fit other people's genres and stuff. And I think as well, like, going back to the point of people playing my music, I've been on holiday. I've been on holiday before and walked into venues and heard my own music, and that's not a brag. That's just a testament to how far production can push you as a person, rather than just being a DJ. Because if you're a DJ and you're in your local bar and there's 50 people in there, let's be completely honest. How many of them 50 people are going to walk out that bar and know who that DJ was? I rarely know who the DJ was unless they've got a massive logo on the back of the screen, which not a lot of bars have. How are you going to get known for what you're doing unless you're producing? So yeah, great question, Andy YouTube Brownlee. Definitely need to be producing. And if anybody's struggling with production, I am starting to offer production courses and tutorials on YouTube, and I'm going to be doing one-to-one production stuff in this studio here as soon as it's safe to do so. And yeah, someone's just put, I've heard one of your Break the Stigma mixes in Kavos below my flat, and someone's just asked me what happened when... Tony Roberts has just put, what happened when Mr. Jam dropped our track in front of you, mate? That was the best feeling in the world. I was at BBC Radio 1 weekend, if anyone was there. It was in Hull, and it was absolutely mad. And do you know what was so weird? Like, I walked into the tent, and Mr. Jam was playing, who's a BBC Radio 1 DJ. And I knew he'd been playing one of my tracks with Tony, and I walked in and I says to my mate, I said, he's gonna play my tune tonight, and it was absolutely mad. And he just started playing it, and I was just like, I just jumped to the front, and I was like, yo, I'm cringing at myself. I walked to the front, and I was like, yo, Mr. Jam, it's me, it's Ben Rainey. That is the most cringiest thing I've ever done. But he looked at me and he went, yes, Ben. If anyone's ever seen the video on my YouTube, it's a big dance tent going off, and I'm stood there going, it's me, it's Ben. And he's like, yes, Ben. But yeah, shout out to Charlie Dixon as well. He's just said that he went to America and there was lads from down south playing my mixes in the changing rooms. Yeah, that's what I mean. Music is honestly the most accessible thing you can be doing. And yeah, I jumped in my mate's car the other day, and I didn't even realise. I went, is this my remix? I walked in and it was my tune. And then I tell you what is nice as well, I've been tuning into other DJs live streams, and I don't know if it's just because they know that I'm tuned in, but I just hear my tunes and it's nice. It's honestly, it's so humbling. It's so good. But yeah, great question. Next question is from James Sutherland, and it's a completely different subject, and this is something that a lot of people might be interested in. This is, how do you market yourself as a photographer and build your brand? Different. I feel like I'm thrown off topic here because I've been talking about music. But yeah, most people probably already know. If you don't know, then you better know. No, I'm only messing. Most people probably already know, but as well as DJing, I do like photography and videography. My story really, if that is, obviously I bought cameras and stuff for my own DJing, so if anyone's followed me for a while, I used to post like random GoPro videos of me DJing in clubs and all sorts of stuff, and I just started vlogging and doing my own little promo videos, doing like mini mixes, like this kind of setup what you're watching now. I'd be DJing, obviously I wouldn't have all the fancy cameras and the lighting and the decks and stuff, I just had a little controller, and I used to do like little mashup mixes and little stuff, and I just kind of learned from there. And like my uncle, I think he's listening, I think he's locked into it now, my uncle Chris Norfolk, who's been one of the biggest influences ever, not just musically, not just creatively, just ever. Like he's a singer, he is a really good singer, and he's always pushed me into like creative stuff, and we bounce off each other. And anyway, I started getting better cameras, and I didn't know how to use them, and I just kind of started learning more and more, and yeah, I just kind of built my. I think the thing is, what people need to remember is when you're doing anything, like if you're doing DJing, if you're doing photography, if you're doing, you know, whatever your game is, if you're a darts player, if you're a footballer, if you're a rugby lad, whatever you're doing, if you're passionate about it and if you're actually genuinely interested, and this is a good one for DJing, because I do actually think there's some DJs that are doing it because they think it's a good industry to be in and they think it's cool. If you're passionate about what you're doing, the talent will follow. Like if you do what you enjoy and you start doing it for the right reasons, the rest will fall into place. And with photography and that, I just started like taking videos when I was on holiday and stuff, and like photos, and just learning my craft a bit. And then about 2 years ago, my mate, he's probably listening actually, Danny Babcock he's called, he's a producer, and he's part of a production duo called MDB. Most people probably know him, they get played on Capitol and that every weekend. So he was getting married, and I think about a month before the wedding, he just approached me and was like, mate, do you fancy doing me a wedding video? I've seen your video stuff, and I kind of was just like, yeah, fuck it, like I'll do it, whatever. So I jumped into that and I just did it, and I'm one of these people, me as well, and this is a good tip for anyone, is if someone asks you if you can do something, say yes and learn it later. That's my best bit of advice, obviously within reason, you know. Don't make out you're a nail acrylic artist if you're a big fat 40-year-old man, do you know what I mean? But yeah, and I just throw myself in the deep end quite a lot. So anyway, I went and did this wedding for him, and to be fair, it came off well. I had like a Sony camera. It was it wasn't the best, but I just from there just upgraded my equipment. And I think obviously being a DJ and having a bit of a portfolio online of who I was and stuff has definitely helped me grow my video brand and my photography brand. But I think, to be honest as well, like it goes back to the whole DJing side of things. It's just about being genuine, being yourself, and you know, being true to yourself. So I've always kind of just been like, look, I'm just a kid that's got a camera, and I think I know what I'm doing. You know, I can produce good quality videos, I think. But word of mouth as well. Like I did a few videos for like good people to know in the city, and you know, you film one wedding, and then before you know it, you're going to be filming 5, because then people are going to know people. And obviously I'm 25 years old, so like I'm getting into that age now where a lot of people around me are starting to get married, so a lot of the bookings are coming from friends and friends of friends and references, and things are going well on the video. Well, there was going well until Corona came. I had about 50 weddings booked in this year. Don't tell the tax man. Nah, I had about I had about 50 weddings booked in this year, and obviously a lot of them have been rescheduled, but I ain't lost them. They're just rescheduled till next year. So yeah, the videography and the photography business is going well. I've just said a little tip. I said, if someone asks you if you can do something, say yes and learn it later. One of my mates who plays the sax just put, well, I once said yes to playing the sax over Bollywood. That didn't work out too well. Fuck. Oh God, I'm gonna have to have a little sip here. I'm dry. I'm bloody dry, honestly. I've still got a good 20 questions here, and they're all absolutely incredible questions. We've still got a lot to talk about. We've got a lot to talk about mental health, obviously more about music, more about DJing, and anything else. There's some random questions. There's a lot about people asking for advice with DJing. There's a lot about, well-being. There's a lot about my life. So if you are enjoying what I'm doing, guys, thank you for tuning in. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know if you think I'm rambling. Yeah, just enjoy the podcast. It's a bit hard when I'm talking to myself, but like I say, I'm gonna have a lot of guests coming through over the next couple of weeks. Not coming through literally, as in like virtually. Just trying to get the audio and video to look as good as it hopefully looks tonight. So yeah, that's all good. And if you can drop this video a share on any social media that I've been saying, I'm just gonna share it one more time now. Try and get a few people locked in. Who can we share it with? Share to group. What group can I put it in? Shall I put it in Stuff for Sale Hull? Who can I put it in? Where can I put it? Let me think. I might just put it in. That'll do. Right. Cool. Right. Cool. Let's get back into the questions. The next question is from Dan Aycock, and it's an amazing question, this. Would you rather play the headline DJ set to 5,000 people in a sellout crowd, or have one of your records reach platinum status? Tough question. I genuinely think, me personally, I would rather have and he said that you can only have one of these things. I'd rather have a platinum selling record because I enjoy producing music more than I enjoy DJing. And that's not that I don't enjoy DJing, I just love being creative in the studio. I love making tracks, and I love the reaction. I love the fact that the track can go so much further than a DJ set can go, if that makes sense. Like, if I can make a track and it can be played all over the world within an hour, I can DJ to 50,000 people, but I'm never going to recapture that moment and that crowd. And also, I quite like intimate vibes. Like, I quite like DJing. I'd rather DJ to 500 people that all know the music that I'm playing and are educated into like the genre that I love, and they're not asking for Rihanna and they're not asking for Drake, and they're just loving the tunes. And that's where I get my buzz. Like, I don't know if anyone knows, there's a lot of people probably watching who know about it. You know, Fibre in Leeds, I DJ there, and I think they've got a sign saying the home of house, and you don't really get asked for requests in there because people just know that when they're coming in, they're going to get classic, funky, disco, tech, and they just love it, and people actually appreciate what you're doing. And I think that for me is worth more than a big gig. So yeah, I definitely would love to be a platinum selling artist, and I think that's probably one of my end goals, like my life goals in music, to get that plaque on the wall, and hopefully keep people happy in my family and make them proud. So yeah, that's a great question. Here's a good one. I don't know if she's still listening, but Elliot K, big up Elliot K, really good DJ and good friend of mine, has just asked, does your work affect your relationship with your girlfriend in any way? Ooh. Ooh. Is she listening? I don't know if she's listening. Do you know what? I'm going to ring her and ask her. Shall I ring her and ask her? Let's do it. I'm nervous. Hopefully you can hear this. I'm nervous. She's not going to answer because I think she knows what's coming. She's definitely not going to answer. I'll ring her mum. I don't even care. I'll ring her mum.
Welcome to the
Answer your phone. Right, I'm going to ring her mum. Does my work affect my relationship? Let's find out from the what's the word, from the horse's mouth, is it? See if her mum will answer. She's going to think, what is going on here? Hello?
Hello?
Will you put Emily on? Will you grab Emily for us?
Yeah, Mum.
Sorry, thank you. What am I doing?
Hello?
Hey up, Briggers.
1 minute. Speak again, because you're lagging a little bit.
Pardon?
I've got it on my laptop, but you're lagging a little bit.
What does that mean?
Hello? Will you put Emily on? Will you grab Emily for us?
I'm so confused.
Wait, turn the laptop off and talk to me.
Yeah, I've just muted you now.
Right, so can you hear me now?
Yeah.
So do you know what I'm going to ask her?
You might have to repeat the question.
Right, my mate has just asked me, does your work affect your relationship with your girlfriend in any way? Be honest. Be honest.
You put me on the spot. I'm not as talkative as you.
Be honest. Just be honest.
Okay, a little bit.
Wait, I just dropped the phone.
Can you hear me again?
Yeah.
Yes, it does, but I try to support you as much as I can.
Why does it affect us? Because you're surrounded by women.
Do you know what? That doesn't actually bother me.
Oh, how is that true? I'm usually surrounded by your friends taking videos of me.
The thing, it doesn't bother me that much because I know you're not the type of person to do that.
Ah.
See?
Do what?
But the other things that normal girls would be bothered by.
Okay.
But, no, I think... I don't know.
Well, I
Probably-
think... Do you want me to give my opinion?
Yeah, because you've really put me on the spot.
Sorry. There's only about 200 people listening.
Oh, behave.
She's putting a posh voice on for the phone. Oh, behave. So... No, listen to me. Right, so I honestly think, in all fairness, I thought about this question earlier, and I thought that, you know, you actually met me when I was DJing, so you don't know any different. So that's a start.
Yeah.
You don't. It's not like you know any different. Like you don't know having about weekends like without this going on.
Yeah.
And also, you knew me before we got together, so you know that I wasn't that guy in the corner that wore too much creed creeping on girls. Is that true? I'm real nervous and sweaty now. Everyone's creasing at this. Right, so, and I also think in the last 12 months of our relationship, if anything, I've actually calmed down from DJing and travelling as much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah. Okay, right, I'll let you go.
I'd agree with that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Can I go now?
Yeah, you can go. I'll ring you back when I finish my podcast to see if I've still got a relationship.
Just be careful.
Oh, God. Right, love ya.
Love you, bye.
Love you, bye-bye. That was tense. That was tense. Just for the record, I probably am the guy in the corner wearing too much creed, but not for women. Just because I like it. Wow, my heart's ticking, man. That was mad. Right. How funny is that? Her stepmom's just tuned in as well, and she's just gonna miss what's going on. Sue, if you're listening, I've just rang Emily on the live stream and asked her a few questions. Right, so my head's popping now. So, if you've just locked in, please share the podcast. I want to keep this going because I've got some really good questions. I need as many people locked in as I can. I think we've got about 150 people overall locked in, not just on Facebook, on YouTube and Twitter. I think we've got about 150 people locked in. But obviously I want to spread the awareness because there's some great questions coming up. So, the next question is from Matthew McNeil, and that is, how do you go about creating your promotional content for your pages and your social media? Do you have a set procedure that you follow, and how can you improve outreach on social media? This is a great question, mate, and this is something that I'm going to be honest about and tell you the truth and tell you a fact, or not a fact, but my honest opinion. So when it comes to social media and doing things like this and doing mixes and doing promotions and stuff, I don't think too far into it. I don't think about it too much. I don't plan it. I don't schedule things. I don't sponsor posts. I don't do any of that. I just do what feels right, and I do it real. I do it raw. I say it the way it is. If I've something good's going on, I've got to promote it. I'll just put it out there. If something maybe a bit bad's happened, or something like, you know, anything, I'm just honest on social media, and I think that stands me in better grounds in some ways, but it also can make things harder because I think sometimes there is an element of, you know, there's a right time to post content and there's maybe a wrong time, but I kind of just like, some days I'll wake up at 10 in the morning and I'll put something out there because I want to just crack on with the studio stuff. So I'll just be like, right, new tune out today, see you later. And it'll maybe get like 10 likes on social media and it doesn't really do very well, and I'll be a bit annoyed. and I think, well, what's going on? But then other times I can post something at 9 in the morning or 3 in the morning and it can go viral. There is really no rules as to what content you post and when you post it. I just think you should have some value in all your content. Like, don't just post a picture of you DJing with the nightclub, you know, the watermark, you know, when it says Attic or bloody Bumbaclat or whatever it says on, and it says the photographer's name on it. Don't be posting all that. I really don't agree with that. I think, you know, if you know the photographer, drop him a message and just be like, look, I'll credit you, can I have the original files? If you're using artwork, try and get it done by a professional. Luckily I'm quite good at graphic design, so I do all my own stuff. But yeah, just don't overthink the whole social media thing. Right, let's crack on because I've got loads and loads of questions and there's lots more people checking in and there's people asking me questions and I can't keep up with everything. Michael Walls, big up Michael Walls, good mate of mine, great producer, amazing at playing the keys. Someone's just put, Ben Rainey, you're very helpful with your information, thank you. Thank you, Steve, I appreciate that, mate. I'm just being honest, I'm just doing what I can do, and if I can help one person by listening to this, then it's worth it. Michael Walls has asked me, when you're producing, do you have set allocated time where you'll be in the studio from X till Y, or do you just kind of go and make stuff when you feel like it? I definitely, and the latter of that thing, I do things when I feel like it, and I think if you force it, that's when it goes tits up. I've sat there sometimes for a full day and been like, right, I'm going to make 3 tracks, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this, do that, and it never happens. But then sometimes I can sit there for 3 hours and bang a worldie of a mix out, do you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't control your own creative habits, sadly. You can kind of, there's things that you can spark things off, you can do certain things, and I think there's a lot of production stuff that you can do even if you're not feeling it, like, you know, arranging your libraries and mix downs and stuff. But the actual creative side of it, things like writing chords and making the idea and structuring the track and knowing how it's going to work, you can only do that when you're in the right space of mind. And I'm sure people will agree with that. I think I spoke to James Hype about that, and he basically said, you know, there's a time and a place. You can't flick the switch on and off. You're either really feeling the production or you're not, and there's no two ways about it. Callum Knight, big up Callum Knight. I'm pretty sure he's locked in. He's just put, I think a lot of DJs are going to want to up the quality of their recording, streaming content as the lockdown goes on. It's more of a statement than a question, but I completely agree, mate. And obviously, I think that, and I hope that I'm kind of leading the way with it and showing people how it's done. Not in a cocky way. I just think, obviously, I'm a DJ. I'm also a videographer. So why shouldn't I be able to provide good quality content? You know, this stuff is what I'm doing now. Obviously, it looks pretty good. I think I'm watching it back. Sounds all right. Yeah. So I don't think I'm too far behind in that. I've put a video on YouTube explaining exactly how I make my videos, and I honestly think the main thing to make good quality videos is your lighting. So obviously I've got 2 lights either side of my camera. They're not very bright, they're just nice, you can see me. And do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go and turn them off really quickly now so you can see how dark this room is. And then you'll understand that it doesn't matter about the camera, it doesn't matter about you, it doesn't matter about anything except the lighting, because watch what happens when I turn these 2 lights off. Boom. I can't see. I can't fucking see. I can't fucking see. So hopefully you saw what happened there. Someone just put, did you buy that t-shirt from the ice cream van on Beverly Westwood? No, mate, I bought it from friends on every street, and they are based in Hull. Do I offer studio days? Yes, I do offer studio days. Big up Danny Upex in the building. Woo! My missus is watching again, so I don't think she's falling out with me over that Q&A, but all good. Love you, babes. So yeah, lighting is everything. Like, look at how well that's lit me up, you know. Lighting is definitely everything. If anybody needs any advice on what lighting I suggest and recommend, hit me up. Literally just go on Amazon and put LED lights in. You'll get what you need for £30. Or the ring lights, you know, the little ring lights, they're quite cool. Ethan James, have you ever released a track that took you ages to release, and by the time it came out you didn't like the mix down production? Mate, it's a story of my life. I think by the time a track comes out, you know, you've heard it a million times and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's nature of the beast, mate. I think as a creative, you can fall out of love of what you're doing and what you're up to, and quite easily. Yeah, my missus is still here. Danny Upex has just put take your hat off. I'm having a bit of a bad hair day, mate. My mum cut my hair the other day and it's not looking too fancy today. It's one of them as well, do you know, where you kind of like, you've put wax on but it hasn't really like done what you wanted it to do. So yeah, I thought I'd put the cap on today. But yeah, Ethan James has also just asked me if you could work with any vocalist and producer on a single, only one, who would it be and why? So I guess you're asking me about which vocalist I'd like to work with and which producer I'd like to work with, and I can answer him. And he's also put in brackets, if you don't say Becky Hill, then you need checking. Mate, everyone wants to work with Becky Hill, and she's absolutely incredible artist. But for me, I love working with local talent. I love it. I work with a lot of vocalists from Hull. Shout out to Lauren Carter, Serena. List goes on. There's a girl from Hull that's killing it right now called Charlotte. Her real name is Charlotte Beard. Charlie Beard. She's called Charlie Beard. She was on Britain's Got Talent, I think, about 5 years ago, and I didn't know her personally. I knew her from this program, and then Charlie Hackford, who owns Treehouse, the restaurant in Hessel. Big up Charlie Hackford, good friend of mine. He put me in touch with her about 2 years ago. We started writing some tunes. Well, I said we just re-recorded some old school vocals. She is like the most incredible artist I've ever worked with. Her voice gives me shivers. My missus will tell you her voice is incredible. She's called Charlotte. On social media, she's just called I Am Charlotte. I'm trying to think if I can show you her voice. She's literally the most insane artist. Let me try and get her up. Yeah, listen to this.
All your weight on my shoulders, don't be scared. I'll keep you safe from war. You're not alone.
I'm just going to fast forward to the chorus.
Just tell me what's wrong, and you know that I'll make it right. Whatever your worries, remember what's yours.
This is the big bit. You ready?
If I was holding the world, I'd let it go so my arms could hold you. If you say that you need it, I'll give you.
Oh my life. Yeah, so if anyone's liking the sound of that, if you go on Spotify or anything and put Charlotte All of My Life in, I don't know if you can see that. She is from Hull. She's absolutely... Oh, let me just turn this down. She is literally the most insane vocalist I've ever worked with. She nailed it all in one take. We didn't need any auto-tuning or anything. She went on tour with Lewis Capaldi recently. She's worked with Martin Garrix, I think, and Mike... Oh, what's the guy called from America? Mike... I can't remember his name. There's another guy from America she's working with, and she's now signed to a major label. So it's pretty difficult now because obviously I've wrote some tunes with her, and I don't know if I'll be able to release them all because obviously she's gone and skyrocketed, so it might not be good for her. I might still be able to release them, but I might not. I think I'll still be able to release the tracks, but I don't think we'll be able to feature her as an artist because her profile's just gone through the roof, so obviously it's not what she needs at the minute. But yeah, anyone that's listening, go and check out I Am Charlotte on social media, or Charlotte. She's definitely the vocalist I'd want to work with. I have worked with her. I would love to work with her again. And if there's any producer I could work with, who would it be and why? It's got to be MK. It's definitely got to be MK. I mean, his old school stuff is just a joke. It's unreal. Newer stuff I'm not as sold on because I think he's keeping up with the trends now a little bit and just, not, I won't say sold himself to the devil, but I think he's doing what's right for his brand and, you know, keeping on point with the stuff. But if anyone knows about MK's older stuff like Burning, he's Pushed the Feeling On, he did Always, Do You Know What You're Really Doing to Me, Baby, all that kind of stuff. It was just, something else. It was insane. So I definitely would love to work with MK. I'm going to have to start whipping through these questions because I've been going on for a long, long time. if you're enjoying what I'm doing, guys, I hate to keep repeating it, but please, can you just drop this video a quick share? It just helps with the engagement. It helps people understand what I'm doing and where I'm at. So I would really appreciate that. Danny Akers just asked a good question. Are you sitting on a lot of unreleased tracks that you don't want to release, and why? To be fair, I am. I've probably got about 15 tracks on my hard drive which I've either had fully vocaled or I've had re-vocaled old school songs. I've had original vocals, and I think I'm probably going through a bit of an evolvement into a more credible housey sound at the minute. So I'm going from more like commercial stuff to kind of like going for that whole like Defected Divine kind of tool room sound, and you know, I'm kind of getting somewhere with it a little bit. So it's difficult to keep releasing commercial tracks that might alter the way other people might look at me, I guess. So yeah, I've got a lot of music on my hard drive which I think a lot of people would love to hear, but for me it's a little bit it's difficult to know if it's the right thing to do releasing it. But I feel like if a lot of you guys heard it, you'd be like, yeah, boy. I do love the music. It's just not where I see myself going. But do you know what? Fuck it. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. I'm going to try and get it all out there. Right, so Tom Brown, who is a really good tattooist from Hull. I think a lot of people probably know him, Tom Brown Tattoos. He's put, you could talk about the rewards of controlling your own life as creatively as you do. Earning your own money through your own passion and your creativity. I feel like there's a huge correlation with job dissatisfaction and depression, low mental health. This could be an interesting topic. Yes, I definitely agree. I've got so many friends that are working a job that they cannot stand to get by. And I always say this to people, don't get too busy working for a living that you forget to, you know, live. I can't remember what the saying is. Someone told me ages ago. It's basically, don't get too busy working that you forget to live, kind of thing, if that makes sense. Yeah, don't live to work to live, I think. I don't know, someone said something before and I was like, I am stealing that. But yeah, no, I know loads of people that are maybe on it in a job that they really don't like, earning you know, enough money to get by, and they're unhappy. And I just think, you know, if it's 1 month of your life where it's going to be a struggle, take the risk and jump and go and do it, and you won't regret it. I've done it, we've all done it. And I think as well, what's going on now is I'm earning no money right now. I've got no income, and I'm probably happier than I've ever been because I'm doing things like this. Don't live to work to live. Yeah, cheers, Sean, that's true. I'm probably happier now earning no money because I've got good people around me. I'm in touch with the people that matter. People that just wanted me on a weekend because I could get them into a club, or I could open a guest list, or I could do this and that, aren't bothering me. You know, I'm in a really good circle of DJs and producers that are really helpful and genuine. My tracks are making good movement online, and yeah, things are good for me at the minute. But I know that there's a lot of people in jobs that they're not particularly happy or they're not enjoying. So yeah, there's definitely a correlation between job dissatisfaction and low mental health. So if you're listening and you're in that position, you know, there's something out there for everyone. The digital world that we live in now has opened up a massive hole and a gap in the market for anyone to get creative and do something. I'll give you a good example, and she's not going to mind me saying this, I hope. My missus is an amazing drawer. She's been drawing me things for so long. I'm going to show you one sec. Watch this. So my missus drew this for me. I don't know if you can see that. Can anybody see that? Yeah. My missus drew that for me. And it was a surprise. I didn't know anything about it, and I'd never seen her draw before. She told me she could draw, and I said, bullshit. She drew that for me about, I don't know how long ago it was now, 2 months ago. Yeah, she drew it on February the 14th, Valentine's Day. And I was like, wow, most people probably know the story behind the photo and what's going on there. I'm not going to go into it. And I was just like, you need to take this up. Like, you need people to see your drawings. You need it. And, you know, my missus wouldn't have gone and pushed that out there and done that. She wouldn't put herself out there to do that because she's quite shy. She's quite shy and stuff. And like, she doesn't want attention. She'll have hated the fact that I've just rang her and put her on the spot on this video. So she would not do that. And I just said, look, it's happening. You know, I know she would do it and she wants to do it, but she just doesn't have the get up and go kind of thing. So I said, right, let's do it. We're starting you an Instagram account. We're going for it. I'm just going to help it. I'm just going to push it a little bit. We set it up 2 weeks ago and literally no following, nothing. She's got like 1,000 odd followers on Instagram. I think she's processed about 20 to 25 orders. I might be wrong. I don't know. I'm not going to go into the figures of the money, but she's done a really, really fucking good trade. And obviously she's now making money through lockdown from her drawings. And it just goes to, and obviously she's got a really good career ahead of her. You know, she does clinical psychology. She's got a career path. She wants to be a doctor. She wants to go and do more studying and, you know, do masters and all that, and she will go and do that. But she's generated herself an income, which means she can live comfortable in the last 2 months from just being good at something. So there's so many ways you can turn your creative skill into an income. You know, I press buttons and play other people's music and get paid for it. It's not impossible. If there's anybody listening right now that feels like they're in a career path they don't want to be in, if there's anybody in lockdown thinking I do not want to go back to work, then make your work the place you want to be. It's got to be. You have to do that. There's so many creatives. I know that there's a lot of people watching this that are in similar industries to me, that wake up every day like me and love what they do. Don't get me wrong, there's some days we don't. That's just natural human nature, but do something you love and you'll never work another day in your life. Right, Eddie Richards, what advice would you give to someone starting out DJing, and also what advice would you give to someone who is starting out doing videography? It's difficult because they're both different industries, but they both run off the same infrastructure. If you're passionate about it and you want to do it, then you'll do it. If you're doing it for, you know, if you're doing it for the wrong reasons, or you're in it for anything other than passion, then it'll eventually show, sadly, and it'll eventually catch you out. So if you're passionate about something, you'll get where you want to get, and that's what I think I've done, and I think anyone else can do. Kane Wild has just asked me, what's he just asked me? I don't know what's going on here. He's just asked me a question. Leave for now. Oh, Paul DeCane's watching. Big up Paul DeCane. If anybody in the music industry knows Paul DeCane, he's a legend in his own rights. He's mentored me a little bit. He's really helped me grow, and he's given me some amazing advice. He's been and done everything that I wish I could do. He's got an amazing history in the music industry, and he's a great guy, and he's a genuine Hull guy as well. He's incredible. Cheers, Paul DeCane. Big ups. Right, Kane Wild has just asked me, what is the best budget DJ controller to buy for home parties that won't break the bank? So I'm guessing he means like a bit of a starter DJ kit. So a lot of people have seemed to be asking this question about decks and stuff, and it's a difficult question because it all depends on your preferences. It all depends on where you want to be and what you want to be, kind of thing. I think Pioneer is definitely a good way to go, you know, because I think they're industry standard, sadly. Paul DeCane, who's watching, is going to hate me for saying that because he works for Denon. But I genuinely think for you know, starter DJs, the most easy to use compatible controller is probably the DDJ SB/RB, which is dependent on whether you want to use Serato or Record Box. If you want my advice, go on YouTube and put in Crossfader. They will tell you everything you need to know. Jamie Hartley, James Holland, and Lawrence James, Danny James, and Katie Riddick. They are an incredible team of people. Love them to bits, and yeah, incredible people. If you want any advice on DJing, come and chat to me or chat to them. I'm happy to help you. Young Jack have put, send us some of your disco edits. The disco edits that I play are staying in my top locker and they're not leaving, because I think that they are one of the things that make me who I am and help me be me, and help me stand out a little bit. Not stand out in terms of like, oh, I'm better than anybody else, but I think the disco edits are kind of like my little niche in the industry. Paul DeCane, cheers mate, appreciate that. He's just dropped me a message. Canson, big ups Canson. I've actually got a question off you, Canson, to answer in about 5 minutes, so stick with me. All good. Big up Jack Buick, Joe Risco, I can't remember how you say your name, bro. Jess Winters, Mitchell Barker, congratulations on the baby. Kate Grizz, Joseph Ben, Nick Ward, Will Collier, Joe Sturgeon, Adam H, Connor Cowlam, Embrigno. Peter Dam. Yeah, this fucking it's flying in here now. Right, so Shilly 120 put, what is the best controller to buy? Again, it's the same question. You know, go and do your research. I think for me, it doesn't matter what you start on. It really doesn't. It's where you end up, and obviously ending up, you want to be on the best gear you can get in a club. I think to start with, if anything, start with the worst setup you can get. I started on a Newmark Mixtrack Pro. It was pretty cool. It was alright. It was good. Joe Harishko. I thought he was Russian, mate. I'm sorry. Yeah, so deck-wise, start with anyone you want. Jamie Nugent has asked a really good question. What is your advice for reaching out to vocalists and songwriters without using hire services? My advice would be genuine, reach out to people. What's the word? Don't just message someone going, fancy doing a vocal. Actually become friends with people. This is one thing I've always done in the music industry is I get a lot of people message me going, now then mate, do you fancy a collab? And I just reply saying, yeah, I'm good, thanks mate, the family are well, my missus is alright, the job's going well, thanks for asking. Because you don't do that. You won't just go up to someone in Morrison's and going, do you fancy paying half my food bill? Because no, they're going to tell you to piss off. You can't just take you can't just take that from me like that. You've got to build that relationship. Recently people have been asking me to do collabs that we've been chatting for years. I'm not going to name these people, but these people are like names in the industry which everybody knows and everyone respects. And I'm thinking, I can't believe you're actually asking me, like, this is amazing. And we've been chatting for years, do you know what I mean? Like, these things don't happen overnight. If you look at the people that I work with regularly, you've got Anthony Miles, you've got Elliot Kay, you've got who else we've got? James Godfrey, you've got Josh Hunter, Danny Upex Dupex, Lewis Roper, just to name a few. And all these people are like the friends. They're not music industry acquaintances. They're friends. They've come to my house. They know my family. They know my missus. I know all their family. They know. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'd break a back for these people. Like, they're actual. They're in my life. Do you know what I mean? Like, you've got to be genuine with people. And the vocalists that I've worked with on my tracks, I've worked with people that I know or people that I've got a genuine connection with. I don't just really reach out to people and be like, can you do a vocal for me? I kind of build that network first. But what is amazing is over literally the last 2 weeks, I've had about 5 vocalists message me saying, I love your tracks, I love what you're putting out, and I love, you know, your style. Would you be up for like some top lines? I've got my own recording equipment, blah, 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 blah. And to think that people are, the hardest thing to find is good vocalists, and to think that they're now coming at me, wanting to work with me, and I actually can't keep up with it because I'm like, I've got so many good vocalists now. I don't mean to sound, again, I don't want to sound like it's a brag, but the amount of good vocalists that are coming forward and approaching me, and literally a guy sent me a top line today that he's wrote, and it could be a game changer, and it's come off just being me, on just being grafting on social media and being genuine and just doing things like this, and treating people the way I want to be treated, and chatting to people. So yeah, vocalist wise, things are going good. Canson has asked me what have I mostly been up to during lockdown. I'm going to tell you what I've been up to during lockdown, Canson, and I think most of you know what I've been up to during lockdown. I've been stood right here dancing like an absolute dickhead. I've been stood here dancing like a twat for you lot. I've been in the studio room, which is the next room to here, making mad tunes. Just been doing me, just been doing what I do. Yeah, like someone's just commented, like Kelvin Wood, big up, like Kelvin Wood. We've made music together. We've kind of not spoke for a while, but it's not anything like we haven't fallen out. We just kind of drifted in terms of music. But I'm sure that I actually think that now you've commented on this, Kelvin Wood, we're gonna get back in the studio. And he's just put, this is so inspiring, mate. It's wicked how you've turned lockdown into something positive. That's the whole point, mate. Do you know what people don't realise is, like, people are saying to me, or like, you're making me feel so much better, you're making this positive. This is making me feel better. I'm not, like, I don't mean to sound selfish, like, me being me and getting myself out there and doing this is making me feel better and building my own confidence and my own kind of inner things, you know what I mean? Like, this is good for myself, and obviously if I'm helping someone along the way, it's great. Big up Dan Saunderson. I do believe Dan's one of the best agents in the music industry, but he's not yet given me a gig. No, I'm only messing, Dan. I'll get it when I've earned it, mate. I hope that you're watching how hard I'm working, and one day we'll get there, won't we, mate? Right, Jamie Shepherd, aka 4X Jamie, as I call him. Anybody who doesn't know him, he's called Jamie FBA on Instagram, and he drives a Ferrari and he's got an R8 and a Ferrari. So for anyone that said that Forex and trading doesn't work, I think it bloody does. But now he's a good lad, Jamie. Genuine kid, and you know he's done really, really well for himself. Drives a couple of nice cars, and also he's kept his roots and he's down to earth, and he still lives nearby where he's from. So he's put, where do you want to be in 5 years? Do you know what, Jamie? The answer to that is the most simple answer I will give all night, and that is, I just want to be happy and content, and I want my family to be healthy. I don't want wealth in terms of money. I want wealth in terms of assets. I want, not assets as in materialistic assets. I mean, I just want my mum and dad to be happy and healthy, and I want my missus to be happy and hopefully still by my side. I want all my friends to be successful in what they've been doing. I want everyone that's connected with me, and all these, there's so many names like watching now. I just want everyone to do well. I'm quite one of them people that I like watching people do well. Yeah, big up Dan Saunderson. We'll get there, I promise, mate. I'm not ready for it yet, but when I do get there, hopefully we'll be able to work together. I love what you're doing with Nathan, by the way. Incredible. It's just good to see. It's good to know that people like you are watching what I'm doing, mate, because obviously one day I do want to be able to work with you. Callum Russell, loving the content. Thanks, bro. Wayne Mason, Ben, fair play to you, mate. You come a long way. In a weird way, I'm proud of you. Keep grafting. Mate, what can I say, Wayne Mason? You give me one of my first opportunities. You've continued to give me opportunities. You've always stuck by me, even when I probably haven't been, what was needed. Give you a good example. I was playing in, obviously I was working for Deltic, where Wayne was working. Very, very commercial clubs. They've got quite a strict policy on the music, and obviously me being me, I was trying to play whatever I wanted. I was playing 1 million songs a minute. I was mashing up tech into disco, into house, into R&B. I was doing all this mad mixing in the wrong environment, making it work to an extent, but it was kind of getting frowned upon. Wayne stuck by me all the way. He's offered me gigs throughout. He's always, he's become a good family friend as well as a leader to me, and someone that's, I've worked for. He's now become a friend, and yeah, thanks for that, mate. I appreciate that. I think it's good that we're both. You've been on my journey as long as I've been on it, mate, because you was one of the first people that got me into it. So thank you so much, mate. John Barnes has asked, what is next for you? Have you got any tracks in the pipeline? I know this is very cliche to say when people say I've got something massive lined up. Some people know about what I've got lined up, but yeah, something big's cooking. I'm just waiting for it to drop. It's all signed, it's all sealed, and it's all delivered, but it's one of them things. It's not been given a release date, so I don't want to say, yeah, guys, this is happening on this date, because if it doesn't, then I look a bit of a tit. And I've done it before, when you get excited and you say something's happening, and then it doesn't happen. So you have got to be careful what you do in that sense. It's a bit of a trap what you can fall into, saying, yeah, I've got this coming up and this is happening, blah 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 blah, and then it don't end up happening. So yeah, you have really got to be careful in that. But yeah, I've got a lot of tracks sat on my hard drive waiting to come. I've got a lot of I've kind of got a lot of things on hold, obviously, because of lockdown. Like, I've got studio sessions that was meant to happen that aren't going to happen until we know what's going on. I've got tracks that haven't been given a release date. I've got tracks that I can't even get signed to a label, which genuinely I think are good enough, but it is a struggle. Anyone that's listening that might think I can get tracks signed quite easily. It's not the case at all. I still struggle the way everyone else does, and I think that'll never change unless you're an elite artist, where you get to a point where it doesn't really matter how good the music is. You just got the name that just people just want, and I haven't got that yet, so I still struggle. But yeah, I've got a lot in the pipeline. If there's anybody that wants to ask me a question that's listening, drop it in the comments now, and this is your opportunity, because I'm going to jump off here in 10 minutes. Just going to double check to see if anyone else is asking any questions. I don't think they are, but I'll just double check. Is anybody asking me a question? Does anyone want to know me? Yeah, it's been amazing. I've been chatting for like an hour and a half. Yeah, I've been missing. I've been chatting for an hour and a half. So how funny is this? Elliot K's grandma has wrote a comment and in the family group chat saying, "You're all missing Ben Rainey. He is very good." I don't know if you can see that or not. Big up Elliot K's grandma for locking in. This is what's mad though. I don't actually understand how people's grandmas. Oh, sorry, it's not Elliot K. It's Jack Rimmer. It's Jack Rimmer. I'm sorry, Jack Rimmer. You look like Elliot K in your profile picture. Jack Rimmer's grandma is watching my live stream. Someone has put, "Keep the videos coming, my man. I've got you blaring out here in Cayman. Big up Luke Rudd. Cayman Islands. When did you move there? That's mad. That's absolutely crazy." But yeah, back to the whole point. I just wanna say thank you to everyone that has been locked in. It's been a mad thing talking. I was really nervous before I came on this live stream, to be honest, because I think I was sat in my studio trying to make some music, and all I could think about was, I'm going live. And I think obviously my idea of this podcast is to obviously interview people and chat to people and stuff. But obviously with what's going on at the minute, I can't physically get anyone in the studio, so I haven't signed any dates off with people to chat to them. But I've got a lot of people. I've got a lot of people lined up that I want to get on here, and I want to bring you a lot more content, and I want a lot of people to also give you their content. Like, there's a lot of DJs on here that could give you 10 times more advice and information than I could, but I can be the middleman to bring you together. And I want to bring DJs, and I don't just want to bring DJs, I want to bring influential people to the forefront. I want to bring people that run mental health organisations here. I want to bring DJs. I want to bring footballers, rugby players. I want to bring all walks of life into this podcast to show you that it's just genuine shit. Like, I want people to realise that all this stuff that you see on social media is not necessarily what you think it is, and we're all just normal people that just have a bit of banter and just go to bed the same way everyone else does. Right, I've got a few questions to go through. If you've got a question for me, guys, like I say, drop it in the comments now and I'll answer every single question that's getting fired at me. J Bell has asked me, "Bit tight that you haven't told me about your big announcement." I ain't told anyone, mate. Right, so Paul Stanley's asking, "My wife is asking if you like R&B, do you do mixes of it? Not new R&B though, proper old school." Mate, honestly, I am the biggest old school R&B fan that is. Like, I love old school R&B. The only reason I haven't done a mix of it yet is because I've just been doing my house thing. I've got that much house music. It's going to take me years to go through it all, to give you all the mixes. But in terms of R&B, I'm probably going to do an old school mix soon. Really, I do quite look forward to doing that. I have, if I was going to pick my 3 favourite old school R&B tracks, it would be Lauryn Hill, that thing, Do Up, I think it's called. You know that, "Girls, you know you better watch out." I won't sing it, but you know what I mean. I love that song. I love a song called Sweet Thing by Jonestown. "Hey lady, I've been going crazy, thinking of the time you're always on my mind." And then the third track that I like is probably Wifey by Next, or, you know, is it 1-1 Dance With Me by 112 or 112, something, I don't know. I don't know the names all the time. So Kelvin Wood has put advice for social media. I've already kind of answered that, Kelvin. It's just be yourself and don't overthink it. Just be yourself, just be genuine. Brandon Level Up, which is just put, "I've been following you since I first started in the industry 3 or 4 years ago. You've come a long way since then. Keep grinding, mate. Amazing." Cheers, Brandon. You've come a long way too, mate. I'm watching what you're doing. There's a lot of people on here that probably don't think I'm watching what they're doing, but I'm watching everyone, and I'm proud of everyone that I know. Paul DeCane's put, "How do you come up with your disco edits and stuff?" A lot of the time, mate, it's just tracks that my mum and dad have told me what you was probably playing in clubs years ago, mate. Yeah, disco edits are I just go with the flow. George Benson, Luther Vandross, Gwen McRae, Jocelyn Brown, I just go with that. Lee Streaks asked, will you do some tutorials on DJ transitions? My next step is to start doing DJing tutorials, not just music production tutorials. So yes, I'm just trying to work out how to film it from up here. So I need like a tripod that comes over the top, because obviously you need to be able to see the decks cleanly. And I haven't got the tripod at the minute. I think you can get like a tripod with an arm on it, so it comes like over the top. And then obviously I need it all lit up nicely. So yeah, that's definitely on the agenda, mate. If I could play at one festival, where would I play? Hideout looks really good, really, really good. I've played in the Alps, that was incredible. And I think I played at Tomorrowland, but I haven't obviously played on like a main stage. It was like a after party. So yeah, I'd probably play at Tomorrowland, but on that, I can't remember I think it's called the Arcadium, where like Solomon and that play. It's like an open terrace. It's not the big EDM stage. It's a really cool stage. Tony Roberts has put, I think you should sing on your next track. I think you should sing on our next track. In fact, you are singing on our next track, but you have taken the mic and you need to hurry up and get it recorded. What was your favourite club to play in Hull, Lily Healy? Ooh, tough one. I think back in the day I loved playing in position. I said back in the day. Back in the day. What have I just said? Back in the day? How can I say back in the day when I'm 25? It was actually 5 years ago. But yeah, I used to love playing in position, main room, when it was, you know, position before it turned to Valborn. And then I absolutely loved Function, I loved Barrow Boys, I loved Sugar Mill, but I liked it better before it turned to Attic, and it had something about it for me. When it turned to Attic, I feel like I got a bit too old for the club to be playing there, because I think it's a really young crowd in Attic. It's not a bad club at all, and obviously Tom, the manager's a good mate of mine, and I rate what he's done there, and it's rammed every week, so you can't knock it. But I just think for my generation now, it's not the one. It's not the one. I think Treehouse for the young kids is for the Instagrammers. That's where the people are going to go. Treehouse in Ezel is where all your Instagram heads are going to go, and I think for more of like a cultural night out, people are going to go on Marina to the Social, I think it's called Social, where Mark Page and that's opening, and obviously I think Mike White's opening King Billy, which is a good little venue. If I could feature with anyone, whether it was a DJ or a vocalist, who would it be? If it could be anybody in the world, it'd probably be Mark Knight or I don't know, probably Mark Knight or like Roger Sanchez or something. But I have warmed up for Roger Sanchez. Did I tell you I've warmed up for Roger Sanchez? Someone's just put, why don't you be yourself? Sorry, Mary, I didn't realise I was being anyone else. I don't know if that's a joke or something, but yeah, hi, I'm me. Bring back Pos Top Floor. Oh my god, Pos Top Floor with DJ Sean was sick. What was his name? Sean something, I can't remember his name. Yeah, Position was the one. Has anyone else asked me any questions? I can't keep up with all these messages. What else have we got? Sean Thomas, DJ Sean Thomas. Yeah, they were the days, man. What's anybody else asking me? Let's see. I definitely want to collab with Tim Yeomans. Yeah, Tim Yeomans is sick. He's a DJ from Hull. He's a scratch master. He's amazing at scratching. I really, really rate what he does. He's sick. What else are we going to ask? What's the most hilarious story of something that's happened to you while DJing at a club? Someone proposed to his missus in Revolution, Rift & Co. Someone proposed, and it was mad. You know, does everyone remember Revolution bars? Someone proposed in there. It was crazy. I don't know if it was followed through, like, but that was probably the maddest thing I've ever seen when I've been DJing. Yeah, I've seen it twice. Anyway, 2 people have proposed. That's probably one of the maddest things I've seen DJing. I've seen like an old guy in a club, like about 80, just absolutely off his rocker tits, just bouncing about with loads of young kids in Sugar Mill when it was Sugar Mill. That was crazy, but it was one of them things where you think it was funny, but you know when you think, actually, hang on a minute, like I'm actually like a little bit worried here. I still obviously took a video of him, but it was a bit weird. Yeah, that's the maddest thing. Craig Hockenhull has put, what is the biggest mistake you've ever made live and how did you recover? when I was younger, I was very why do I keep saying like back in the day when I was younger? I'm not that old, am I? Still got a bit left in the old tank. Still a bit fresh, I think. I hope. Well, when I was starting out, I used to be one of these geezers that couldn't work out what I wanted to do in terms of DJing. If I wanted to play on USBs, if I wanted to play on laptops, if I wanted to play on whatever. So I used to like switch it every week. One week I'd be using Serato, one week I'd be using Traktor, one week I'd be using USBs. Then I'd be doing something else, and yeah, it just didn't work. But one night I think I just had one of them nights where my laptop was just crashing every 2 minutes, and you know, like we're talking like it cut off for like a minute at a time. And there's been nights where the fire alarm's gone off like for a minute at a time, like every 5 minutes. That's something, it's out of your control, but it's kind of you're the one that's going to look bad for it, because obviously the minute the music cuts out in a club, everyone's going to look at the DJ, aren't they? So yeah, definitely the music cutting out is the worst thing that could happen to you in a club. Although some once do you know, does everyone know PBH and Jack Shizzle? Producers, really good producers, good friends of mine. So Jack Shizzle, Gaz Maxwell, he's a good friend of mine, and he actually taught me a lot about music and DJing and stuff back in the day. I keep saying back in the day. He taught me a lot, and he once tricked me. So I was basically going on after him, and I was about to start mixing, and he played the last tune, and it all sounded great. And then just before the drop, it went young man, there's no need to feel down. And I was just at that point in my DJing career, I was not ready for it at all. Like I took it well, I did take it well, but you know when you just like fuck, like I was so scared at the time. That was mad. That was absolutely mad. That was probably one of the maddest things that's ever done. Lily Healy, have you ever played down Witham at Old School House? What do you think of the club? Yes, Lily, I have played at Old School House in Witham. So if anybody from Hull or anybody in general, they will know obviously Hull Fair. So basically, about 4 years ago, I met the guys that pretty much run Hull Fair. For all like obviously all the showman community. Nearly said the wrong word then. I don't know if they're listening. For the showman, they are called showman. And to be fair, they're genuinely great people. Big up Baron and big up his little brother Blake and Scott. Them guys who I work with. So basically, I met the showman from Hull Fair that run all the events and stuff. So obviously, they all come over here and they have a piss up. So he basically was like, "Can you come DJ for me?" And I started DJing for him, and just got really good friends with him. I've been DJing for him for years, and they have their annual party at Old School House, so I do that for them. And I can honestly say I don't think that venue ever takes as much money as it does on that night. I get paid absolutely handsomely, and they just look after me, and they're good people. But the party goes on till about 6 in the morning, and I start at like 10 o'clock, and it's like 8 hours. I'm just like, oh. My ears are burnt because Old School House has got like a void sound system in it. It's really good, but it's really loud. Mike and Lauren are really nice people who run Old School House in Witham. It is a good venue. I do like working there. So yeah, I have worked there. I haven't worked there for like a public night. So no. Tony Roberts, can you explain Restream, how it works and what you are currently live on now? Yeah, so obviously I do a lot of videos on YouTube explaining how DJs can go live. To keep it simple, I basically said, look, you need good audio, you need good lighting, and you need good interaction, which is obviously what I'm kind of doing now. But obviously I have got like quite high-tech camera equipment and stuff, so obviously I use my Sony camera for my visuals, and for my audio I've got my Rode mic, which is basically just like a studio microphone. It's not the best one I've got, but it's the one that works best with this. So in terms of this stream now, what I've done is I've got my camera and the microphone running into my studio computer in the background. That's why I've only got the iPad with me. So it's running on like an extension USB cable into the studio. Obviously my camera's coming up on the screen into a software called OBS, and on OBS I've got the option to pick the microphone as the audio, and I've got the option to pick the cameras as obviously the cameras. I've just dropped my logo in the top right hand corner, left hand, whatever it is, I don't know where it is, I think it's up there somewhere. I've got my logo up there. just as a little overlay, and then obviously that's all on my screen on OBS, which is a software. It's a free bit of software for people to stream. So I've set it all up before I've gone live. I've come out here and I've double checked, and I'm looking back and I'm thinking, am I working? I can see it now at the corner of my eye. It's all working. 1 2 1 2. I test my audio, make sure everything's working, and then obviously what I do is I hit live over there. And then Restream is a platform which allows you to pick the platforms you want to be live on. So if I wanted to, I can be live on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all this. It is a paid platform. I do pay like £20 a month, but it's worth it because it means you can go live on different places. So obviously I'm live on a few platforms at the minute. So all it does is it gives you a wider audience. I think the pros of it are the fact that you can obviously stream to a high quality like me. The cons of it is it costs. You need certain adapters to go into your computer, which aren't cheap. You need high quality equipment. You need high speed internet. You need a lot more than what you need just to go live on your phone on Facebook. And I think if you're not as serious at it as it, if you're not really serious about it, if you're not trying to build like something for long term, if you're not trying to do something out the ordinary, I don't think you need to do this. And I've said that in videos before. I do it because it's second nature to me, because I use all this equipment regularly. But yeah, that's how I get these good quality streams. But the only downside is to it, obviously I'm using a 4K camera, but even though it probably looks quite good quality on your phone, it's really, really downscaled and compressed, and it's not the best quality. And obviously because I know the camera's capable of so much more, it's quite frustrating for me. But no, it's not bad. So what else have we got asked? Paul Stanley, have you ever mixed on proper decks with vinyl? Yes. I don't know if my mum and dad are still listening, but my mum and dad bought me Technic 1210s, for my 18th birthday, and I set them up at home, and then I started buying tracks. But at this point, I just started DJing, so I literally had no money. I realised how expensive it was going to be to build a vinyl collection. I kept it up for about 6 months, and then obviously I had to cave in and go back to the digital world. So yeah, I've genuinely tried my hand at the old school DJing. I love the way people say proper decks like vinyl, but what people don't understand is the things that you can do on these things, these new controllers, are that mind blowing that it takes DJing to another level. If you stand with this controller and just mix 2 tracks together, then yeah, I can understand that why some people might go, hang on a minute, like, it's not hard, is it? But when you see the ability, like people like James Hyper doing, and to an extent, I'm quite out there with my mixing. I still do a little bit of mashing it up and chopping it up, and yeah, like technology's changed and I've evolved with it. So yeah, Paul Stanley, I have mixed on vinyl, but it wasn't for me. And being brutally honest, mate, I understand the purists are going to want the vinyl back, but it's not really got a place in my best interest at the minute. The way I travel and the way I move around, I need USB sticks. I need to be compatible, and I need a lot of music with me at all times. Rubel has put, do you have any quick tips for writing better music? Paul Stanley, by the way, I know that you wasn't trying to insult me by asking that. I know that, mate. I won't insinuate in that. I'm just saying I've tried it and it wasn't for me. Rubel's asked, do you have any quick tips for writing better music? Tough one. I think the best thing to do is, if you're not writing the music that you're happy with and you don't enjoy, is you've got to ask yourself why and how. And I think the best thing to do is find the sounds what other people are making and go and find it. Everything's out there, honest to God. Like if you like Fisher, you can find Fisher's samples. Obviously it's not Fisher, it's Chris Lake, but whatever producer you're into, then the sounds are accessible, is what I'm saying. Like sample packs, when you download sample packs, a lot of the time in the descriptions they actually say maybe 5 producers that sample pack's based on. So if you say James Hype, Joel Corey and stuff, there'll be a sample pack which has all their sounds in there. So yeah, it's really not that difficult to get to the sound you want, and there's a lot of tutorials out there. Unless you're really making like a really niche sound, you're not going to struggle to find the style of music you want. And if you want to write better music, I'd honestly just suggest looking into mixing skills on YouTube and good tutorials and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's the advice there. I'm just going to double check if there's any more questions. I don't think there is, and I'm just about ready to log off because I'm getting a bit tired. I'm getting a bit dry. Are we good? Everybody got the questions in? Just want to check before I log off. Just so everyone knows who is listening as well, I'm hoping to do these live streams every Sunday. I think it's a good thing to do on a Sunday because I think by a Sunday night you're kind of fed up of loud music, because obviously on a weekend we're all going live, and I think it's a good thing for me to be doing on a Sunday for like a bit of like a wind down. Like, even though I've been talking to myself for 2 hours, I've been interacting with you lot, and it's good for my own, my own stuff and my own well-being. And obviously with what's going on at the minute, it's great to interact with people, because I think that it's going over. It's a tough thing at the minute. There's a lot of people lonely, and there might be someone who's listened to this and thought, you know what, I've had a good natter with him, even though we haven't spoke properly. As of next week, I'm hoping to bring guests into the show. I'm just trying to work out the best way to record the shows with the guests virtually, because I don't want the audio and video quality to be bad. So obviously we could get webcams and stuff sorted. Like, I'm sure Paul Duquesne, who's listening, might be able to give me a bit of advice here. So like, I want to do a virtual podcast with people, but obviously if you're just using a webcam and the inbuilt microphone on the laptop, it's not going to sound great. And I don't want the quality to drop so that people don't keep tuning in. I want it to be of a good standard, so it is going to be difficult to keep up the standard. I don't know if the best way to do it might be via only doing it with people that have got good microphones and video quality, or if it would be to I don't know. I really couldn't tell you. So it's something I'm still working on, but I've got a lot of good people lined up to come on the show. So yeah, I think that pretty much wraps us up. I'm just going to wait to see what Paul Duquesne says in answer to my question. And big up Jonathan Thornton. Who else have we got watching? We have got Luke Stevenson, Carmen Grace, Alex Jeffrey, Harvey Rayworth, Liam Biglin, John Baxter, Josh Nicklin, Alistair Young, Grace Hudgell, Lawrence Holtby, Josh Hall, Keck Scargill, Jordan Love, Liam Allett, and Ashley Barton, Gareth Westmoreland, Jordan Lawley, Kelly Lum, Fran Swan, Jordan Wilkes, Dave Curtis, aka Dots Per Inch, Callum Knight, Lewis Jacobs. There's so many people still locked in. It's kind of one of them. I don't want to come off, but at the same time I don't want to overstay my welcome, and I don't want to drag this out and make it a bit boring. Because I think we've got through a lot tonight. I think there's a lot more to discuss and a lot more to come out. Definitely got way more to talk about than just music. I want to delve right into stuff like well-being and mental health, fitness, mindset, the importance of routines, and the importance of coping mechanisms. And I want to go into stuff like the books that I read that help me, anxiety. I want to talk about coping mechanisms with that, especially in the music industry, because I think it's huge. I want to bring some rugby league players in and talk about that industry and how it differs, and I want to do some comparisons and make people realise that when we're all singing from the same hymn sheet when it comes down to it, and just break a few boundaries down. Really, that's the whole aim of what I'm doing, and it seems to be working. Getting some really, really nice comments saying thank you. Big up Johnny Morrow, absolute hero. Absolutely love you, mate. Top man. Big up Tony Roberts. I'll ring you in morning, mate. Unless you're free for a quick call when I come off here, I could give you a quick ring when I get in my car to head home. Adam Watts, big up Adam Watts. Paul Duquesne, lovely man. DJ Lee Street. If it's the same Lee Street that I think it is, I think I might have had one of your remixes or mashups in my sets before. Big up Lee Street, mate. And yeah, Callum Knight. Big up Callum Knight. I'm gonna jump out of here now, guys. So I'd just like to say thank you to everyone that's checked in. Dylan Jones, thanks ever so much for that comment, mate. I'm going to dip out, guys. So thank you so much for joining me. If anyone's got any questions that they want to talk about off air, be it DJing, be it mental health, be it general stuff, drop me a message. I am going to head home, get a shower and go to bed, but I will reply in the morning. If anyone needs any advice about anything, I'm going to go switch the stream off now on the computer, so it's going to take a quick second. But thanks for locking in, guys. Peace.